So, the cool feature of automatic email templates is accomplished by, in the task template, we determine which email template we want it to use and what we want the task to say. In the system, I've made it really simple to just reflect, like send the seller mutual acceptance to clients so we know who it's going to. That comes in really handy when you get down to that Form 35R where you're not sending it to the lender. And this just serves as a reminder, don't send the 35R to the lender unless you're asked to do so. So in this, to send the email, you just click the link. It opens the form up and you select who you want it to go to. This box will be populated later once we start adding some participants to the transaction. And then CC is always going to be everybody who is listed as someone on the team. Whether they are a login or no login user, you can still email them from within A-Frame. The subject line is always going to default to the address of the transaction. This comes in really handy when emailing vendors because you can always have the property address in the subject line so they're not like, hey, wait, what's this for? For your client emails, though, we want to select that and get rid of it. Of course, you can pick your own subject lines, and something that, again, Burton and I are working on is for our client emails, we're going to tie a way to determine the subject line when creating the email template. That way, it's just one of those reduction of a step down the road. To attach a file, you can always attach any of your team files or the transaction files.
Yeah, that's good.
The nice part is it won't allow you to select cross-transaction files, so you always know as long as you uploaded the right file to the transaction, you're only sending that transaction's files. It's really nice. This really helps in the reduction of error. And then to attach, you simply check the box and click close, and there it is. To unattach, you close the whole thing and start over. No, to unattach, you simply open it back up, uncheck the box, and press close again, and it's gone.
Perfect.
So this would be our mutual acceptance contract. And then I always, while every system is perfect, I like to double check things and read through, make sure it makes sense. When you have the merge codes for agent names or assistant names, right now it pulls both first and last name. So sometimes the whole name sounds a little too formal. If the client would prefer something less formal, we just simply delete it. If this is your first time, you can, I always say, customize this because most of the hard work has been done. And you can make sure it gives the right voice when you're sending it out. Your client portal is automatically set up to show here in that email template. And what it does is pulls all the information about the property here, and your client can see a lot of the cool stuff going on with their file. Since it's not marked as being under contract yet, it doesn't have the details. It's going to tell them there's no details. For your sellers, this is important because they're like, wait, contract details, we're not under contract yet, and it won't show up there. But the activities report is going to show, the mutual acceptance task that we marked completed. Later it'll show the inspection contingency is done. And then as you're adding your showings, it's going to start graphing those here in the showings by week section.
Yeah.
And then let's say you've been on the market for 7 long days and you have to change that price. The graph will change to an orange dot. The fun part about this for your listings is you can legitimately show your seller, hey, told you the price reduction worked. Look at the number of showings we've gotten now. And they'll be able to see over time how their property is performing on the market. And then there's also the files and web links that we talked about. So as you see, the Zillow one that we wanted to be there is visible, but the A-Frame link is not. And our contract files, this will, go down into a big long list as it's going. If your client's viewing this on their mobile device, the phone numbers will become clickable so they can give you a call right away directly from the portal. Again, A-Frame is designed to be a one-click solution so that your clients are never very far away from you.
Wait, so they could call you through the website?
No, it would, if they were on their phone, they could. This turns into a
Oh.
clickable link.
Got it. I never got that text, so.
Troubleshooting.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's the beginning of the client portal. For testing purposes, we're going to try this again. 352-874-8878.
That is correct.
Today's the 24th.
Today is the 24th. It is 2:35.
Okay. So let's try it the user way. Charles Carr. And we're going to go for 2:30.
I don't know that my phone number is inputted into a user named Charles Carr because I have barely used this. So.
Well, I put it in when I set you up.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to save that and see if the user one goes through.
It's after 2:30 though.
Oh, 2:35.
Yeah, it's 2:35 at the moment. If you wanted 2:40.
And we'll see if it was because we hit it save too late. So we'll test that one again, make sure that works for the user way. And then if the manual way doesn't work, since it's new, we're going to send off a troubleshoot to Burton so he can see what's going on.
So I use that to like remind myself to do something, right?
You can use it to remind yourself, or like, let's say you mid-transaction, you have something that's not necessarily part of the template, and you're like, oh, we got to get those keys out of the key box quickly. You would type in the task that needs to happen. It's assigned to David, and since you need to remind him so that you make sure he does it, you can use it to remind anyone in the system, and hopefully the troubleshooting for the user, the manual option, will also work. So if you need to remind, you have a listing photographer who is kind of spacey sometimes, you can send them a reminder half hour before that appointment is due to start. It comes in handy. I use it to text lenders when the appraisal report is due. Mm-hmm. You're in control of who it's reminding and what it's reminding them for. So as you build out your systems with A-Frame, having that, the functionality of being able to remind any other party of a task, they'll get, as you'll see soon, a text message that has the subject of the task and the due date of the task.
Okay.
For users outside of A-Frame, they won't be able to click the link into A-Frame. Mm-hmm. They'll just get to the website and be bothered to sign up for it. But for users, the link takes you directly to A-Frame, and you can log in and see the transaction. As you're going through, the meat of the task list is something that is going to never be finished, because you're always going to find ways to improve the system. But know that if you go and make a change to the template itself, it's not going to impact any transaction that already has that template applied. So it's not going to retroactively change your templates, but it will, for the future, change any new templates. And that is the wonder of tasks.
Wow.
As we mentioned the other day, and as we'll see again here soon, you can add a task to the transaction from your dashboard or directly from the transaction itself. Moving on, though, to the contract tab, this is where